The only real concern at all we had was our place in the project. Uh, we had no idea um, of any of it, and they did shed some light on that for us. This project was entering. It was moving. Um, it was continuously moving, and it was high speed, and it was entering a phase in which it was being introduced. The process of introducing this project to the different branches of the military, was about to begin. So no branches had any personnel in place to have anything to do with this project. Um, so we were told that as this was being introduced to our specific branch, in the earliest stages of introduction, um, we were going to be tasked um, as technical advisors with an emphasis on safety protocol and procedures, basically to ensure a safe training environment. And we had the capabilities, due to our specific area of work, we were able to unfuck a situation that might arise in a training environment. After we left there, my unit would soon receive a much more inclusive tasking towards the introduction of this project to our branch of the military. But for about the next 6 weeks, we went back and we worked with other members of the military from different branches that had been there. And what we did for about a 6 week period was we established a base foundation of protocols to deal with safety for one small element that was a part of this project. So that while it was being introduced to each of our branches, we had an organized, well thought out approach to safety and a thorough understanding of procedures of how to render something safe, render safe procedures. This was designed to be built on more, but we wanted the foundation there collectively with all the branches. It's pretty much how it works still to this day. You develop procedures, and we did. And after we did that, we returned to our respective branches, where we would in fact act as technical advisors that were there to ensure safety during the very early stages of when the initial training began in my particular branch of the military. So anyways, after our meeting with the senior project staff there, our airman took us back. He immediately told us that the soonest he could get us out of there was the following evening. I can't remember what time. It wasn't real late. It was we didn't do much for our remaining time there. We very briefly there was very brief out processing. There was another safety or security brief. No more than the way it was when we entered. Nothing out of the ordinary again. We went back on a white bus. We went back to Nellis. Again, the transportation situation, this appeared to be all government, military people from the way they were dressed. It was not an expensive bus, nor was it a particularly nice bus, just a regular old bus. The only thing I noticed is that it had slightly tinted windows. Um, I don't know why they weren't really, and maybe just because of that part of the country it's in and it's hot. I don't know. Slightly tinted windows. Otherwise, it was a regular bus. It was a civilian driver, but they took us immediately, uh, nonstop, uh, to Nellis, um, right back to where I had been prior, where I checked into when I arrived at Nellis. Um, I got back there, exited the bus, walked right in, um, very simply processed in, and we didn't know what we were doing. It was kind of after hours. Um, they asked if we had been staying somewhere when we left. And we told them, and they're like, "Yeah, go back there." So we did. We had the same quarters. Um, they were still ours. The next day, we go back in the morning, um, screw around for about 2 hours, but we out process, collect our car, and we leave. Just that simple. Um, that in itself is my story about that particular situation.